The first week of January is already full of stories, and so welcome everyone to LiCAS.news weekly wrap. Again, I am Marielle Lucenio, and these are our headlines this week.
U.S. Catholic Church leaders condemned the attack on the Capitol. Human Rights Watch said Chinese who sought redress for abuses are being targeted. South Korean court ordered Japan to compensate, comfort women. Indonesia's Islamic Council expressed hopes for Halal ruling before mass vaccination. Pope Francis reminded the faithful this week against idol worship. In the Philippines, a Catholic bishop said Black Nazarene devotion should draw faithful to charity. In Cebu, Filipinos opened a festival in honor of the child Jesus, praying to end the pandemic. And now to our stories. Catholic Church leaders in the United States condemned the siege at the U.S. Capitol building by supporters of President Donald Trump on Wednesday, January 6. "This is not who we are as Americans," said Archbishop Jose Gomez, president of the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, in a statement. He called on Americans to commit themselves to the values and principles of democracy and come together as one nation under God. The Archbishop prayed to the Blessed Virgin Mary for guidance and for wisdom and grace for true patriotism and love of country. Hundreds of Trump supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol in a stunning bid to overturn his election defeat. Chinese authorities have waged campaign against individuals seeking redress for abuses linked to the COVID-19 pandemic, an international human rights group said. Human Rights Watch said Chinese authorities have harassed and intimidated those who have sought accountability for the government's initial cover-up of the pandemic and for abuses stemming from lockdowns. In a statement, the group said activists and lawyers who assisted those seeking redress said that surveillance and social media applications have helped authorities to preempt activism earlier than they could in previous public health crises. A South Korean court has ordered Japan to compensate 12 women who were forced to work in its wartime brothels, a ruling that drew a strong rebuke from Tokyo and threatened to rekindle a diplomatic feud between the two countries. Reminders of Japan's 1910 to 1945 colonial rule of the Korean Peninsula are contemptuous for both sides, with many surviving comfort women, a Japanese euphemism for the sex abuse victims, demanding Tokyo's formal apology and compensation. Japan said the issue was settled under a 1965 treaty that normalized diplomatic ties, and the two countries agreed to irreversibly end the dispute in a 2015 deal. Indonesia's highest Muslim clerical council hopes to issue a ruling on whether a COVID-19 vaccine is halal or permissible under Islam before the country is due to start a mass inoculation program. The world's largest Muslim-majority country plans to launch vaccination on January 13 after obtaining 3 million doses from China's Sinovac Biotech. Controversy over whether vaccines adhere to Islamic principles has stymied public health responses before. Authorities said they hope that the edict can be declared before the government starts its vaccination program. Indonesia is struggling with the worst COVID-19 outbreak in Southeast Asia, and authorities are relying on a vaccine to help alleviate dual health and economic crisis ravaging the country. Pope Francis reminded the faithful on Wednesday, the solemnity of the Epiphany of the Lord, to devote more time to worshiping God, even as he said that it is not easy. He said worshiping God is not something we do spontaneously, adding that true human beings have a need to worship, but we can risk missing the goal. He warned that if we do not worship God, we will worship idols, adding that there is no middle way, it is either God or idols. Pope Francis said that it is particularly necessary for everyone to devote more time to worship, especially during these trying times. Without love and concern for others, a person's devotion to Jesus Christ is false. This is what the Catholic bishop said during a mass at Manila's Quiapo Church on Thursday, January 7. Bishop Reynaldo Evangelista of Imus told devotees of the Black Nazarene to always aim at the image of God in their neighbor. He said that no matter how strong the devotion to God is, if people don't have genuine concern for others, their devotion is not real. The Philippines celebrates what Filipinos dubbed as the Feast of the Black Nazarene, which attracts millions of devotees every year on January 9. In Cebu, Filipinos opened a festival in honor of the child Jesus, praying to end the pandemic. The celebration of the annual Sinulog Festival in honor of the child Jesus in the Central Philippines opened on Friday, January 8, with prayers to stop the spread of the new coronavirus disease. The Sinulog, or dance prayer, the oldest festival in the country, usually gathers up to 2 million devotees, including local and foreign tourists, when it culminates in the third week of January. This year, however, the celebrations have been subdued due to the pandemic. As of Friday, January 8, the Philippines had 483,852 confirmed COVID-19 cases after the Department of Health reported 1,776 additional cases. At least 8 people reportedly died, bringing the death toll to 9,364. Meanwhile, recoveries are up by 285, raising the total to 449,330. That's all for this week. Again, I am Marielle Lucenio for LiCAS.news, your independent Catholic news source in Asia. For more stories, visit our website at LiCAS.news and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.